string theory does is it holds out the promise that, look, we can really understand questions that you might not even have thought were scientific questions. Questions about how the universe began, why the universe is the way it is at the most fundamental level. The idea that a scientific theory that we already have in our hands could answer the most basic questions is extremely seductive.
But this seductive new theory is also controversial. Strings, if they exist, are so small, there's little hope of ever seeing one.
String theory and string theorists do have a real problem. How do you actually test string theory? If you can't test it in the way that we test normal theories, it's not science, it's philosophy. And that's a real problem.
If string theory fails to provide a testable prediction, then nobody should believe it. On the other hand, there's a kind of elegance to these things. And given the history of how theoretical physics has evolved thus far, it is totally conceivable that some, if not all, of these ideas will turn out to be correct.
I think 100 years from now, this particular period when most of the brightest young theoretical physicists worked on string theory will be remembered as a heroic age when theorists tried and succeeded to develop a unified theory of all the phenomena of nature. On the other hand, it may be remembered as a tragic failure. My guess is that it'll be something like the former rather than the latter. But ask me 100 years from now, then I can tell you.
Our understanding of the universe has come an enormously long way during the last 3 centuries. Just consider this. Isaac Newton, who's perhaps the greatest scientist of all time, once said, "I have been like a boy, playing on the seashore, diverting myself and now and then finding a smoother pebble or prettier shell than usual, while the great ocean of truth lay before me, all undiscovered." And yet, 250 years later, Albert Einstein, who was Newton's true successor, was able to seriously suggest that this vast ocean, all the laws of nature, might be reduced to a few fundamental ideas expressed by a handful of mathematical symbols.
And today, a half-century after Einstein's death, we may at last be on the verge of fulfilling his dream of unification with string theory. But where did this daring and strange new theory come from? How does string theory achieve the ultimate unification of the laws of the large and the laws of the small? And how will we know if it's right or wrong?
No experiment can ever check up what's going on at the distances that are being studied. The theory is permanently safe. Is that a theory of physics or a philosophy?
It isn't written in the stars that we're going to succeed, but in the end, we hope we will have a single theory that governs everything.
On NOVA's website, go behind the scenes with Brian Greene. Journey into the subatomic world. Play with strings. Picture other dimensions and much more. Find it on pbs.org. To order this program on VHS or DVD, or the book The Elegant Universe, please call WGBH Boston Video at 1-800-255-9424.
Next time on Nova, play hard, break some rules, and push the limits of your wildest imagination. Brian Greene takes you on a quest for the theory of everything. PBS presents Nova, the Elegant Universe.
Nova is a production of WGBH Boston. Major funding for Nova is provided by the Park Foundation.
We see Teacher of the Year. We see kids reaching their potential. It's what inspires us to create software that helps you reach yours.
Science. It's given us the framework to help make wireless communications clear. Sprint is proud to support Nova.
Funding for the Elegant Universe is provided by the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation to enhance public understanding of science and technology. And by the National Science Foundation, America's investment in the future. Additional funding is provided by the George D. Smith Fund and the U.S. Department of Energy, fostering science and security. Major funding for Nova is also provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and viewers like you. Thank you.
We